true cost of old machinery is not just what you pay for it. That's the lesson I'm learning today. What's up, guys? My name's Kevin Tomberg, and I'd like to share with you the adventure I'm going on getting an old South Bend lathe up and going. We've got the lathe down from Connecticut, and now we've just got to get it to that shop right there. So my shop is maybe 50 yards down there. That should be very easy to get a lathe down there, right? Well, here's some of the factors. Number one, I've got a septic system in there, so I don't want to hurt that. Number two, it turns out that the ground here is a lot of clay in it, and especially when it starts raining, it holds a lot of water. Now you probably can see snow on the roof there. I'm actually filming this at least a month or more after all the events I'm going to show you here in just a minute. But even then, there was a lot of moisture in the ground. I'm going to walk through some of the difficulties I had getting it down there. I've previously moved a mill down to that shop using my father-in-law's pickup truck and a trailer, but it was difficult, and I thought, let's do this properly. So I went down to my local rental place, and looked like what I needed was a telehandler that would have big wheels to go on the grass. It would also have a boom so that it could extend it down and place it inside my shop. When the rental place asked how much I was lifting, and I told them about 2,000 pounds, they said, well, this telehandler will lift 6,000 pounds, and that sounded good to me, as 6,000 is more than 2,000. The problem is that in order to be able to lift 2,000 pounds out at the end of the boom, you have to have a massive, massive base so that it's, not going to tip over. Here you can see me bringing it up into position to lift that lathe. But all of that weight is what's going to cause problems with my grass in my yard. Here I'm looking at the grass, noticing that it's sinking in a little bit, but still thinking it's going to be okay. I think the grass will be fine. It'll settle down. First order of business was to get my old Bridgeport clone that has some problems out of the shop and back up to the garage. So I drove down there with the telehandler, seemed like it was going okay, got it loaded up, headed back up the hill, and the wheels just started spinning. There was just no traction. Tried all kinds of things, putting stuff under the blocks under the wheels and all kinds of stuff, and it just wouldn't work. So I started getting a knot in the pit of my stomach that wasn't sure what was going to happen. We're able to take the boom and push it as far out as possible, kind of coming up the hill, set down that mill base there. We'll have to figure out what to do with that later. And then looking for a solution to how to get that thing out. Now I'm filming this later, but when we couldn't go that way up the hill, I thought, well, maybe it'll be drier in this valley over here. So I thought, let's go down the hill and see if it's got firmer ground there, and then head up the valley to get out. So we are really stuck. We're trying to use the boom to help us push up the hill. It's very slow going. Our backup plan is to try to use a rope and ratchet, but we didn't think that would work as well, and we're making slow, steady progress on this. Pulling the truck back down, the forklift back down. There, we got it out. As I'm editing this video, I noticed up on the hill there a little gray figure, and as I zoom in, I'm like, what is a person doing standing there looking at us? Ended up it was my mill, but doesn't that look like someone in a spooky costume? Inch by inch. Well, I didn't catch it on camera, but we did get all the way out. Here you can see the tracks that were left over when we were finally done. And up in that bowl on the left side, you can see the tracks going up just to the left of that third car. And got up to the road, and what a relief that was. All right, so our next plan is to not try to move them down there. Gonna have to wait till next summer when that all dries out and it turns like hard as a rock. So for right now, we're gonna try to get these and put them in my garage over the winter. And after we get those in, then we're gonna try to ease down there just a little bit and see if we can reach the boom out enough to get that, or if not, drag it a little bit closer till we can get the boom. Oh, what an adventure. We thought it would be best to unload that lathe from the trailer in front of the house where we had a little bit better room to maneuver that telehandler. So got it off, then got it repositioned, safely strapped on, and brought it around back. So we were able to get the lathe set there into the garage. I have it on a little precarious roller there so I could position it. Also got the bridge port unloaded and was able to retrieve the old clone mill and bring it up into the garage and got everything all positioned. I'm just trying to kick some of this sod back into the ruts. Maybe just a tiny bit better. All right, let's see if we can get this thing cleaned up a little bit. Get all that clay off of there. There she is, all washed up. That spatter is concrete, which is not something we put on there, so it's as clean as I could get it. All right, we got the truck cleared. Now let's try to get all this mud out of the driveway. Well, as I wash down this driveway and try to bring some order back to my house, I have to remember that sometimes projects just don't work out the way you want them to. And rather than edit out all of the mistakes, I thought I could show them, and then maybe it might help someone else that has a project that, you know, goes sideways in ways they wish it hadn't. I think it could be a lot worse. This is the part that I care the most about, and I think that with the winter rains and spring grass, I think this will even out fairly well. May have to fill in a few ruts with dirt later. That part down there, we don't really care that much about, and I think once the grass grows in, it won't be that noticeable. And if it is, I can grade it. Good news is we got the machines out of the weather. We got the equipment back up to the road, and I've got them called to come pick it up. And we all safe and sound. And I'm coming up with some ideas about how to get these down. I'm thinking maybe take them apart, because I wanted to kind of clean them up anyway, go into component parts, and then go in a small trailer. Maybe when the ground's not quite so wet, that might work. Or we'll just wait. There's no rush. It's a beautiful day out. My neighbor over there has alpacas. The leaves are just turning here in East Tennessee. It's a gorgeous day to be alive. I love the shadows on the mountains too. All right, that's all. Peace out. Okay guys, in the next episode, we'll start actually working on this lathe, get it torn apart and start taking that nasty paint off and start making it look like a proper lathe. So stay tuned for that.